Chào mừng các bạn đã quay trở lại với kênh Luyện Nghe Tiếng Anh mỗi ngày. Video hôm nay sẽ nói về chủ đề sức mạnh của kỷ luật. Video này được thiết kế với giọng đọc chậm rãi, rõ ràng, kèm theo phụ đề song ngữ Anh Việt, phù hợp với các bạn ở trình độ tiếng Anh B1. Nếu bạn là người mới, đừng quên nhấn đăng ký kênh để không bỏ lỡ các video tiếp theo nhé. Bây giờ, chúng ta cùng luyện tập nào.
Hello and welcome to today's episode. I'm so glad you're here. Let me ask you a few questions. Have you ever made a plan but couldn't stick to it? Have you ever felt motivated one day but lost all that energy the next? Have you ever said, I'll start tomorrow, and tomorrow never came? If your answer is yes, don't worry, you are not alone. We've all been there. But what if I told you there's something more powerful than motivation? Something that can help you stay on track even when you don't feel like it. Something quiet but strong, simple but life-changing. That something is discipline. In this episode, we're going to explore the power of discipline, what it really means, why it matters, and how it can completely transform your life. So find a quiet place, put on your headphones, and get ready. Because today, we're not just talking about self-control. We're talking about the tool that builds habits, creates success, and shapes your future. Let's begin. Part 1. What is discipline? So let me start with a simple question. What is discipline, really? Most people think it means being strict or serious all the time, but that's not the heart of it. Discipline is about doing what needs to be done, especially when you don't feel like doing it. It's about choosing long-term rewards over short-term comfort. It's waking up early to work on your goals. It's studying when your friends are out having fun. It's saying no to distractions and yes to your future. Discipline is not something we're born with. It's not a talent. It's a skill, something we build. And just like a muscle, the more we train it, the stronger it becomes. You don't need to feel motivated every day to make progress. Motivation is great, but it doesn't last. Some days you'll feel inspired and full of energy. Other days, you'll feel lazy, tired, or unsure. And that's okay, because discipline is what carries you forward when motivation disappears. It shows up when you don't want to. It helps you act according to your values, not your mood. Think about it. Every time you choose to do the hard thing instead of the easy thing, you build mental strength. You're telling yourself, my goals matter. My future matters. I matter. And that's powerful. You start to trust yourself more. You build self-respect. You realize that you're capable of doing what you said you would do. That's the beginning of real confidence. So no, discipline isn't about being perfect. It's about being consistent. It's not about doing everything all at once. It's about doing something every day. Even a small step forward is still a step forward. And if you keep taking those steps day after day, the results will come. In the next part, we'll explore how discipline is connected to success, not just in school or work, but in every part of life. Because once you understand the link between discipline and success, you'll never look at your daily habits the same way again. Let's continue. Part 2. Discipline leads to success. Now that we understand what discipline really is, not perfection, but consistency, it's time to look at why discipline is so powerful. Simply put, discipline leads to success. Not sometimes, not maybe, always. No matter what goal you have in life, whether it's learning a new language, building a career, saving money, or getting healthier, discipline is what gets you there. Success doesn't come from one big action. It's not the result of doing something impressive one time. It comes from doing the small things, day after day, even when you don't feel like it. And that's exactly what discipline is. It's the quiet force that pushes you to keep going, especially on the hard days. It's waking up early to study even when you didn't sleep well. It's showing up to the gym even when your muscles are sore. It's practicing your speaking skills even when you're afraid of making mistakes. These small acts, repeated over time, build momentum. They build habits, and habits build your future. Think about someone who runs a marathon. They didn't wake up one day and suddenly run 42 kilometers. No, they trained. Slowly, consistently, every day, step by step. That's discipline. And the same is true for anything you want to achieve. You don't need to rush. You just need to move forward, one small decision at a time. Another beautiful thing about discipline is that it creates confidence. When you keep promises to yourself, even small ones, you start to believe in your own ability. You say, I told myself I'd do it, and I did. That simple sentence is powerful. It's the foundation of self-trust. And self-trust is the beginning of all success. Many people wait for motivation to begin. They say, I'll start when I feel ready. But here's the truth. If you wait for motivation, you might wait forever. Discipline doesn't wait. It acts. It doesn't depend on how you feel in the moment. It depends on your decision, your values, your commitment. And that's why it works. Discipline gives you control. It gives you focus. It gives you freedom. The freedom to move toward your goals instead of staying stuck where you are. And once you taste that kind of progress, you won't want to go back. In the next part, I'll tell you a simple story, a story that shows exactly how discipline changes lives. Two people, one goal, two very different outcomes. And the difference, you already know, it's discipline. Let's keep going. Part 3, a simple story. Let me tell you a simple story. It's not dramatic, it doesn't have a big twist, but it shows something important, how discipline over time creates real change. There were two people. Let's call them Anna and Lily. Both of them wanted to speak English fluently. Both of them had the same resources, books, videos, podcasts, even a teacher. They were equally smart, equally capable, but they made different choices. Anna started with energy. She felt excited. On the first day, she studied for 2 hours. The next day, a little less. Then she skipped a day, then another. And by the end of the week, she felt frustrated. She told herself, maybe I'm not good at languages. And little by little, she stopped trying. Lily, on the other hand, didn't try to do everything at once. She told herself, just 15 minutes a day, that's all. So she listened to a podcast while making breakfast. She read a short article before bed. Some days she didn't feel like it, but she did it anyway. Not perfectly, not with a big plan, just a little bit, every day. After a few weeks, nothing looked too different. But after a few months, her vocabulary had grown. Her listening improved. Her fear of speaking slowly started to disappear. She felt more confident, more capable. She wasn't better than Anna. She was just more consistent. The difference between success and giving up is not always big. Sometimes it's just a quiet decision to keep going, to show up, even on the boring days. That's what discipline looks like. Not exciting, but effective. And this story doesn't just apply to learning English. It applies to every area of life. Want to get stronger? Exercise a little every day. Want to build a business? Work on it steadily, even when results are slow. Want to be more confident? Practice showing up every day. That's it. We often think success belongs to the lucky or the gifted, but most of the time it belongs to the disciplined. The people who keep going when others stop. The ones who don't wait for the perfect mood or the perfect moment. They just do what needs to be done, again and again. In the next part, we're going to explore how this happens, how discipline doesn't just lead to progress, but actually builds the habits that shape your future. Because your habits are your daily votes for the kind of person you want to become. Let's keep going. Part 4. Discipline builds habits. Now that we've seen how discipline can quietly lead someone to real progress, it's time to look deeper at how it works. Discipline doesn't just help you take action, it helps you build habits. And habits, more than anything else, are what shape your future. Think about it this way. Your life today is the result of your past habits. The way you speak, the way you think, the way you live, those are all built from small things you've done again and again. And the life you want in the future? That life will be built by the habits you start creating right now. Here's where discipline comes in. Starting a habit is easy when you feel motivated. On day 1, you're excited, you make a plan, you promise yourself big changes, but motivation fades, life gets busy, you feel tired, you forget, and that's when most people quit. But if you have discipline, you keep going, even when it's not exciting anymore. Let's say you want to read more books. On the first day, you read for 30 minutes. On the second day, only 10. On the third day, you almost skip it, but you pick up the book anyway. That one small action matters more than you think. You're not just reading, you're telling your brain, this is who I am now. I'm someone who keeps promises. I'm someone who shows up. That's how habits are built. Not in big moments, but in small ones. Discipline is the engine that powers your habits. It turns choices into routines, routines into identity, and identity into success. Because once something becomes part of who you are, it's no longer a struggle. It's just natural. And here's the best part. You don't need to change your whole life overnight. Just start with one habit. Something small, something simple. 5 minutes of writing, 10 minutes of exercise, 15 minutes of English listening. Be patient. Stay consistent. Let discipline do its quiet work. Over time, those habits will grow. They'll start to connect. One small change will lead to another. And before you know it, you're not just doing new things. You're becoming a new person. More focused, more confident, more in control of your life. In the next part, we'll talk about something people often get wrong about discipline. Many think it means never making mistakes, never missing a day, never falling behind. But that's not true. Real discipline is not about being perfect. It's about staying committed, even when you mess up. So let's keep going. The journey continues. Part 5. Discipline is not about being perfect. Let's take a moment to clear up one of the biggest misunderstandings about discipline. Many people believe that being disciplined means being perfect, that you have to stick to your plan every single day, never miss a workout, never skip a study session, never fail. And the moment you do, you think you failed completely. You feel guilty. You say, I've ruined it, and then you quit. But that's not discipline. That's a trap. Real discipline is not about perfection. It's about consistency. It's about coming back again and again, no matter how many times you fall. Think about it. When a child learns to walk, they don't do it perfectly the first time. They wobble, they fall, they try again, and no one tells them, you fell once, so maybe walking isn't for you. No, we cheer them on, because we know that falling is part of learning. The same is true for you. You will miss days. You will feel unmotivated. You will get tired. You might even give up for a while. But none of that means you've failed. It only means you're human. Discipline isn't about never falling. It's about always getting back up. It takes strength to keep going when no one is watching. It takes courage to start again after you've lost your rhythm. And that's what makes discipline so powerful. Not because it's perfect, but because it's persistent. There's a quote I love. Fall 7 times, stand up 8. That's discipline. That's how you win. And here's something else to remember. Every time you return to your routine after a setback, you actually become stronger. You build resilience. You prove to yourself that you don't give up easily. And that's a mindset that will carry you through every area of your life. Not just learning or work, but relationships, health, everything. So the next time you miss a day, don't punish yourself. Don't start over from zero. Just keep going. Pick up where you left off. Remind yourself that one mistake doesn't erase all your effort. Progress is not a straight line. It's up and down, forward and back. What matters most is that you keep moving forward. In the next part, we'll get even more practical. You might be wondering, how do I build discipline in my daily life? The good news is, you don't need big changes, just small, smart steps. And that's exactly what we're going to explore next. Part 6. How to build discipline in daily life. Now that we've talked about what discipline really means and why it's not about being perfect, let's get practical. How do you actually build discipline in your daily life? Where do you start? The truth is, you don't need to change everything at once. In fact, that's one of the biggest mistakes people make. They try to completely transform their habits overnight. They write long to-do lists, set huge goals, and expect instant results. But change doesn't work like that. Discipline is built in small steps, not big leaps. So here's how you start. Choose one simple thing, just one. Something small, something you can do every day without stress. It could be waking up 10 minutes earlier, drinking a glass of water when you get up, reading one page of a book, practicing English for 5 or 10 minutes. Don't worry if it seems too easy. That's the point. You're not trying to impress anyone. You're building momentum. When you keep a small promise to yourself, you send a powerful message to your brain. I do what I say I will do. That's how confidence grows. That's how identity changes. You stop seeing yourself as someone who tries and gives up and start seeing yourself as someone who follows through. That shift is everything. Next, create structure. Structure supports discipline. Set a time and place for your habit. Make it part of your routine. When things have a set time, they become automatic. You don't think about whether you feel like doing it. You just do it. That's what discipline loves. Clear systems. Also, reduce friction. If you want to work out, lay out your clothes the night before. If you want to write in the morning, keep your notebook on your desk. Make it easy to start and harder to avoid. Set up your environment to help you succeed, not tempt you to quit. Another tip, track your progress. Use a calendar, a journal, or an app. When you see a chain of days you followed through, you'll want to keep it going. And when you miss a day, because you will, don't panic. Just get back on track the next day. Like we said earlier, it's not about being perfect. It's about coming back. And finally, celebrate small wins. Discipline doesn't always feel exciting, so make it satisfying. Give yourself credit. Say it out loud. I showed up today. Smile. Be proud. These little moments of recognition keep your motivation alive. Remember, discipline isn't built in one big moment. It's built in 1,000 small ones. Quiet decisions, daily choices, gentle reminders. You don't have to feel strong every day. You just have to keep showing up. And when you do, that's when things start to change. In the next and final part, we'll wrap everything up. We'll talk about why discipline is more than just a tool for success. It's a mindset, a lifestyle, and truly your greatest superpower. Let's finish strong. Part 7. Discipline is your superpower. So here we are, the final part of our journey. We've talked about what discipline really means. We've explored how it leads to success, how it builds habits, how it helps you rise after failure, and how to bring it into your daily life. And now it's time to understand one last powerful truth. Discipline is your superpower. Yes, it may not feel like it at first. Discipline is not loud. It's not dramatic. It doesn't get attention like talent or luck, but it quietly transforms you, bit by bit, day by day. Discipline is what helps you grow when no one is watching. It helps you stay focused when life gets messy. It helps you keep moving forward when everything inside you wants to stop. Motivation can be exciting, but it comes and goes. Discipline stays, and that's what makes it so powerful. When you're tired, discipline whispers, just one more step. When you feel lost, it says, stick to the plan. When progress feels slow, it reminds you, this is how success is built. With discipline, you don't need to rely on perfect conditions. You don't need to wait for inspiration. You become the kind of person who takes action, no matter what. And that changes everything. Because the truth is, your life is not shaped by what you do once in a while. It's shaped by what you do every day. The small choices, the quiet efforts, the daily decisions to keep going. That's where the real power lies. So if you take one thing away from this, let it be this. You don't have to be the most talented. You don't have to be the smartest. You just have to be disciplined. That's more than enough. Start small. Be patient. Be kind to yourself, but be consistent. Show up. Do the work. Build your future, one step at a time. And one day, not too far from now, you'll look back and realize you didn't just build habits. You didn't just reach goals. You built yourself. Thank you so much for listening today. I hope this message reminded you of something important. You are capable of more than you think. If you find this video helpful and meaningful, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel to stay updated with future videos. Thank you.